Hi there, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome once again to Reading Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. We're continuing book. We're continuing in book two. Today we're looking at chapter four. And this is going to be a short one because it's basically three paragraphs. Yeah, two paragraphs. I think it's in the way the structure of it goes. So let's go to it, and that's it. It continues on the question of how the responding to pleasure and pain. So therefore, we're dealing with this question. So chapter four. But someone might be perplexed as to what we mean when we say that to become just, people must do just things, or to become moderate, so fasune, to do moderate things. For if they do just and moderate things, they already are just and moderate, just as if they do what concerns letters and music, they are in fact by that very fact skilled or artful, right? Skilled, artful in letters and music, right? So in other words, he says there's a problem. What do we mean by this? It's saying that if they do this, they become this by doing this, right? You assume that when they do it, then they are it, right? And similar thing is the example of letters and music, right? If they're or is this not so? Or is this not so? Even in the case of the arts, right? The question: for it is possible to do something skillful in letters by chance, or on the instructions of another. In other words, you can do something not by knowing it; you can do it by chance. So that even in the arts, this question is that, wait a minute, this by doing something right, do you really know what you're doing? Is it by accident, or is it, in the arts, you can have something do something by accident or even by chance, right? Or because someone taught you, so you're just following the instructions of someone else. A person will actually, in other words, a person will actually be skilled in letters when he both does something skillfully and does it in a skillful way, and that is what accords with the arts of letters that resides within the person himself, and not because of accident or doing what the other person told you. That it's internalized, that they doing it themselves, and they do it from inside themselves, because from themselves, and it is an authentic action, not just copying what someone else told them to do. Right? This is the way we'd understand that. So then stop next paragraph, right? It goes, further, what pertains in the arts is not at all similar to what pertains in the virtues. So therefore, what pertains in the arts is not at all similar to what pertains in the virtue. For okay, this is where I need to look carefully at what the word is. I think they're going to turn it to, this is Sophus. I apologize. I need to go check it quickly because I think this is excellence is Sophos. I think it's yeah, Sophosonas. This is not Sophosonas. Is it? Not Sophos. Hold on. I'm looking at excellence here is Spudaios. I think it's Spudaios. Hold on. I looked at the wrong chapter. No, this is chapter 4. The beginning of chapter 4. Let me see. Dun dun. Hmm. So I apologize. What am I doing? Detective practice. I want to make sure it's correct. Yeah, I think it is correct. So hold on. It's. I should stop. I should stop. I apologize. This is the logos. This is it pertains to the art. The virtues. It's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, it is. What is moderation in that regards to moderation? Dios. I don't see a rete, and I don't see that. So I have to go. I need to go look carefully here this passage because I don't see the specific passage here in the Greek that I don't understand. Where does he get that word from? Why is he getting excellence here? For excellence in whatever comes into being through the arts resides in the artifacts themselves. So I think this is the virtue. This might be virtue. I'm trying to figure out what is the for the excellence in whatever comes into being through the arts resides in the artifacts themselves. Okay, let me just go. Let me go just quickly to another translation. I just don't like it when I don't know something, and it's pissing me off. Do further. Yeah, okay. This is one of those little annoying things. I'm looking at this different translation by Joe Sachs, and he is saying for the other kinds of artfulness, these things do not count except in mere knowing, but of having the virtues. The knowing is of little or no strength, while the other conditions have not a little, but in other words, so there's not excellence. I don't know where excellence comes in here in that sense. I don't know where they get excellence from. Um, no strength, and while the conditions are not a little but all powerful. So again, this is one of these cases where I think there's something wrong with the word. Just doesn't seem right in there. So I don't know why he's translating an excellence here. For the thing that's in whatever comes into being. So for the doing it, the right doing it, the something that is done correctly, and whatever comes into being through the arts resides in the artifacts themselves. It is enough then for these artifacts to be in a certain state. So therefore they have to have the condition. There's enough that those artifacts, these things that are done, the things that are done in the arts and the things, they have to be in a certain state. But whatever deeds arise in accord with virtue are not done justly or moderately if they are merely in a certain state. In other words, but only if he who does those deeds in a certain state does those deeds in a certain state as well. So, in other words, it's not that the outcome has to be, it's not the mere outcome of the thing, but they have to do them well as well. Okay. So, so it's not the condition of what has been done. Whatever these deeds would according to virtue are not done just or moderately, or so justly or moderately, if they're merely in a done in that sense, but it's how they're done. But if but only if he who does them, the one who does them, these deeds, is in a certain condition as well. First, if he acts knowingly, so he does it intentionally. In other words, he acts knowingly, intentionality, right? Second, if he acts by choosing the actions and questions for their own sake. So therefore, he's choosing the actions and he's doing it for the actions for their own sake in that sense, not because they're going to get him something else. In other words, not doing it for another reason. They have to do it in order to do the thing that you want to do. The thing you choose the thing, and you choose it because you want to choose it, not because you're choosing it because you think that you're going to get something better, right, or something else. Um, and third, if he acts, and if he or she acts while being in a steady and unwavering state. In other words, he's not hesitating. He's not. Uh, he's acting in a non-hesitating state, um, um, a steady and unwavering state, right? But these criteria are irrelevant when it comes to possessing in the arts, except for the knowledge itself is involved. In other words, you have to know what you're doing. So in the arts, just knowing how to do it, because sometimes you do the stake for something else, right? So it's not only that; it's the first criteria. He just has to know what he's doing. Second is he has to choose doing it for the right reason, and has to do it steadily and on things. The art's the first condition matters. But in virtue, these three condition matters: the knowing what is to be done, knowing acts as if he knows, knowing what is to be done, choosing to be done, choosing and acts by choosing, and by choosing the action in question for its proper sake on its own, and he is unwavering or steady and unwavering in regarding it. So therefore, but when it comes to virtues, knowledge has no or little force, whereas the other two criteria amounts to no small part, but rather the whole affair of courage, the whole affair. Now the question is criteria that are in fact met as a result of our doing just and moderate things many times, right? The criteria, now this word, the reading of the manuscript Hapier, perhaps better is Bywater's slight emendation of the text Epir, adapted by Burnett and Gautier and Joliffe, which might render as following: the whole affair. In fact, the whole affair. In fact, the virtues are gained as a result of doing just and moderate things many times. I think the correction is better. I would not have done this. I said the whole affair. If in fact the virtues are gained as a result of doing just and moderate things many times, right? Matters of action are said to be, so therefore, this is the third paragraph. Okay, I thought that was second. Be just and moderate, then, when they are compatible in kind to what the just and moderate person would do. So therefore, repeating, this is that interesting line. Matters of actions are said to be just and moderate. So fosune, right? When they are compatible with, compatible in kind to what we would, the idea expect the just and moderate person would do, right? And yet, he who performs these actions is not by the fact by that fact alone just and moderate, but only if he also acts as those who are just and moderate act. So just by doing the right thing in that sense is not enough. He has to do it in a sense that, in other words, he performs these actions is not in fact alone just and moderate. In other words, he's not only the person who's just and moderate, alone is just, but rather he acts as those who are just and moderate. Acts as those who are just and moderate act. He's conforming to what the just and moderate is, right? The sophosune is. it is well said then that as a result of doing just things, the just person comes into being. And as a result, doing moderate things, the moderate person, without performing these actions, nobody would become good. So therefore, doing, you have to do it. You have to do it. You don't. But you become just by doing just things. You become moderate by engaging in doing moderate actions, becoming sophosune. In other words, you know how to handle pleasure. You know how to deal with pleasure. You don't. You just don't. Just simply just don't do anything. You need to act. Okay. You need action. Okay. Nobody would become good without performing these actions. Nobody would become good. Yet most people, or the many, the most people, okay, or the many, right? The most people, or the many, do not do them and seek refuge in argument. They suppose that they are philosophizing and that they will in this way be serious, whereby doing something similar to the sick who listens attentively to their physicians, but but do nothing prescribed. In other words, yet most people do not do them, do not do those actions, do not act. They seek refuge in argument, right? They suppose that they are philosophizing, and that they will in this way be spudio, serious, and therefore but this thereby they do something similar to the sick who listen attentively to their physicians but do nothing prescribed. In other words, you don't listen to what is done. So just because you don't act, he don't act. In other words, you should you listen to the doctor. It requires then you should do what the doctor prescribes. Just to listen to the doctor is not philosophizing in that sense. Now this is a joke about him making fun of this. Just as these latter then will not have a body in good condition by caring for it in this way. So too the former will not have a soul in good condition by philosophizing in this way. So, and this is interesting. The word philosophizing is used. This is the first time. I don't know why there's a note here. I think this is the first time the word in this paragraph here, philosophizing, is mentioned first time in the Ethics, I believe, in that sense. And I think would be important to kind of note here that philosophizing here is like mentioned here in that sense. So there's kind of a joke implied here that philosophizing is mentioned. It's not the correct philosophizing; it's the pretending to philosophize, right? That philosophizing here is negative. It's done by the way the ordinary, the many, just listen to something but not do it. They think about it, but they listen to arguments, listen to things, or think about things, but don't do. Here is doing. Important is here the virtue is doing. It's a doing it well in that sense, right? So that you don't have the good condition of, in other words, that if you don't do what the doctor says, you won't have a good condition of the body. Here, if you don't act, you don't learn the moderate things, and you won't do the just things, so that you won't have your soul won't your soul, you will not have a soul in a good condition by just listening but not doing. Okay. Well, we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, please put them below. This has been a difficult thing, probably because the Greek. I wish I'd looked at the Greek in the online edition. Maybe that would have been better, because I don't see the sophosune. I see sophosune later, right? It's clear. He translated sophosune. But what is excellence? This is what's driving me crazy in the beginning of that middle of that paragraph. That middle paragraph in that sense. That is driving me absolutely bonkers. At 25? Um, 25, 26. I don't see Sophius. So I don't see that. I don't know where you get, unless they're going to translate it as arete, but then I don't see the arete there. Um, I see an iraton, virtue. I see virtue earlier. Yeah, virtue. I see that virtue. The next sentence. Duh, 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 duh. The techne and the gemon, right? The art and that. Um, arts in this, but I don't see epte, the otai, and megareke. Du, dumeon. No, no, I got a arete. Do I have an excellence in the second thing? No, I see arete. There, the arete that is there. And the arts and the artifacts themselves. So it's excellences in terms is not serious, but virtue. So okay, that's why I'm kind of a little worried about this. This is why. So it is virtue. I was right, and it was kind of a weird choice. I wish he used the consistent of that as that. So if you have any comments or questions, please move below. Uh, like the chapter if you liked it. Share it with your social media. Share it with your friends. Get encourage it. Share this out there. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Encourage others to subscribe. If you didn't like it, now of course you're gonna say I didn't like it. If you wasted that much time reflecting, you should have known this already. Well, you put your comments there, and yes, I should have known it. I just was shocked by the translation in that sense. It just bothered me, and I couldn't find it in the Greek immediately. But again, I should have my glasses on more. Um, well, that's what you can do. You can negative comments and put there. We can all learn from it. You can follow me on social media. The links are below. If you want to follow me about my academic research and things like that, you can do so below. That is my scholarly social media, this scholarly links to this my scholarship and background about my research. Another thing you can do is if you want to help me to do what I do, you can do so through financially help me do what I do. You can do so through Patreon or Subscribe Star. The links are below, or you can buy one of my books. 3 books are listed below that you can either buy through an online book service like Amazon or Barnes and Noble or whatever service you need, or through your local bookstore. Well, that's it. Next time we will talk. We'll look at chapter 5 of the ethics, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day.